What's up, everybody? This is Sean for the Made Up Theater. I'm one of the instructors here, and I'm just going to go over a few quick things. If you are taking a class that is now going to be featured online, this is aimed at people who are taking classes at Made Up Theater, but if you're taking improv classes elsewhere, this is just going over a few quick things, especially pertaining to the software Zoom. So let's jump into it. So the first thing you definitely need to do before actually your first day is to make sure you have the software all installed. So in order to do that, you go to zoom.us, that is the website, and you want to click there and sign up if you do not have an account already. It's totally free. Don't worry, you don't have to put any money down. It allows you to create your account. So once you do that, you're also going to go to resources and download Zoom client and click on download there and follow the instructions to download Zoom. And then after that, this is what the app looks like. So this is the Zoom app. Now, when you receive instructions from your institution, from Made Up Theater, for example, we'll include some instructions about how to actually join the sessions going forward. You would generally click it through your actual email, or you could put the information under join right here. So there would be an ID. There's also probably going to be a password. So all that would be included in the email that is sent to you before the first class session. So check that out. Now, once you do that, I'm going to click on New Meeting. This is just going to go over the actual interface of how Zoom looks. So I'm just going to click New Meeting. And generally, when you join Zoom, it should ask you join with computer audio. So yeah, do that because it's going to help you actually hear stuff. If you do join our Made Up Theater classes, you're probably going to join first muted, and also your video will be off. That's just by default. That way, if you join, ideally, like maybe if classes started and you join, it's a way so if something's going on, it doesn't cause any interruption. So if your instructor will inform you whether your video should be on or off. So let's start down there. Bottom left over here. I'm actually going to hide myself for a second. So down here at the bottom, see my little cursor? There's start video, okay? So when I click on start video, there I am, right there. So that is going to start the video for your webcam. I'll go over the webcam stuff in just a moment, but that's very important. Next to stop video, there's also that little arrow. If you click on that, it'll maybe show, see right here, that shows my camera that I'm using. Sometimes you might have a few cameras, so just select the camera that you are using. But other than that, it should be all set to go. And down here, this one's very important. Down here where it says mute, right down here. Again, by default, you join Zoom meetings. Also, I think when you come back from breakout rooms, you're also just defaulted to mute. So your instructor might sometimes inform you, hey, you're on mute, and just click this to bring you out of mute. Right now, I'm not on mute. So if I click this, it has that little X. Or that little slash says I'm muted, and if I want to unmute myself, I just click unmute. As you can see, this is just something I see right here. It says you are muted. It goes away after a while, but if I want to click unmute, boom, I'm back in. Again, the little arrow will kind of just show specific things. There's a lot more settings here, so select microphone. Sometimes it'll say like, maybe internal speakers. It might also say something like headphones. Line 6. This is just connecting. The microphone that I'm using is going through an audio box, so that's what I would click, but you click on whatever works for you. It might be an internal microphone, it might be a headset. Just make sure you do select the correct one. So my microphone's selected correctly. Whoop, bring that back up. My speakers are going through my headphones, so that's why it's a little bit different for me. Just make sure that you're speaking into the correct thing and you're getting audio in the correct thing, okay? And the best way to do that too is generally you can test this before the meeting starts, but if you didn't get a chance to do it, under this little arrow it says test speaker and microphone. I'm gonna click that. So I hear that, you may not hear it. It was just a little ringtone that went da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I hear it, and hello. So I just tested my microphone and my speaker, and I'm all set to go. Great, so now let's move on to a few other things. So a few settings that are helpful for any meeting that you might join online is the bottom left, we're gonna do some settings right here. So next to start video, there's that arrow, click on it, and then click on video settings. And then here you can see a little display of what you look like. Before you turn your video on, feel free to do that. but under the video settings, there's a few boxes that you should have checked. So the first one is always display participants' name on their video, okay? So that means that if there's 6 people on screen, I can see their names on the bottom left of their webcam display. So that helps me learn names, that helps me identify people. In Zoom, it's going to be very helpful to be able to identify students in the class by their name. So click that. I'll show you how you can change your display name in just a moment. But the next one, this one's really important. Hide non-video participants, okay? I'm going to click that. Now, what that means is in a meeting, it's very similar to showing the people who are actually on stage. So if the instructor wants like 4 people on stage and everybody else turns their video off, anybody who doesn't have their video on, they kind of disappear from the Zoom meeting, okay? They're still in the room, obviously, but they're hidden. If that wasn't clicked, you'd still see their box and it just wouldn't have their video, but they would still be on the screen. So it's a way for the instructor to have more focus and get rid of people who aren't necessarily in a specific exercise or a specific scene. So definitely click that one. That's very important. I forgot to put this in as well. Make sure you click at the bottom. It says display up to 49 participants. Click that one as well, and then you'll be all set. Those are the main ones. Now, if we go back to the main screen, at the top here, it's not here right now because I don't actually have people in here. There's going to be a few spots that say gallery view and speaker view. I definitely want to recommend for you to do gallery view. Gallery view means everybody's displayed on screen whose webcam is on. And speaker view means it's just going to kind of go back and forth. Whoever's speaking has the focus. That gets a little cluttery and jittery, and it's not too seamless. So my preference is gallery view. Other people might have different preferences, but that's what I'm going to be doing in my classes. A few other things. Down at the bottom of the screen, there's something that's called participants, okay? So if you click the participants tab, it's going to bring up essentially whoever's in the room. There'll be a list of them, okay? So generally you don't need this part of the screen up, but there is one thing that you can do that's pretty helpful is if you scroll to yourself, you can click more and then rename. Okay, so this is a way to kind of rename your name if you go by, a nickname or just an abridged name. Essentially, just display what you'd like everybody in the class to see. So I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to put in my pronouns as well because that's helpful. And at the bottom of the screen, right over here, wait, no, there we go, right there. That's my name, and that's my display name. Okay, so that is all set to go. Next thing is generally you don't need participants up, so you can hide that. There's also chat down here. Chat will probably not be used too much. The only thing that it might be used for is gathering suggestions, and sometimes your instructor might use private chat to message specific students in the class. This is a way maybe to give them information for an exercise, which might involve information that needs to be hidden from everybody else. You generally don't need to have chat up during the meeting, though, unless your instructor prompts you to do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and hide that. So another thing I'm going to show you to do that's really helpful for improv online is getting something to cover your camera. And you might be thinking, why do I need something to cover my camera? I have the stop video button down here, right? Yes, you could technically do that, but some people might opt for you to do it this way. And by having something to cover your camera like that, okay, that's just my hand. I'll get you something in a second. It allows the presentation to be more seamless, okay? So when I click stop video, if I did it that way, I disappear. And if it's me and 2 other people, so there's like 3 displays on stage, if I take myself out, it suddenly shuffles and there's like an abrupt movement where now it's like 2 camera displays on stage, okay? And it's a little bit like kind of jittery and not very seamless. It's not very fluid. So I'm actually opting for people to cover their camera when they exit a scene, okay? And don't worry about what the logistics of that are. Essentially what happens is the best thing to do is just get a piece of paper. If you have dark paper, like black cardboard or construction paper, that works great. You can also just get a white piece of paper and like put blue tape on it, or just tape in general. Like duct tape would be great. I'm actually probably would be best if I cover this black so it displays black. It might display blue. And I kind of like fold it like this, okay? So this is what it's gonna look like, and I'll put it over my camera like this, and then boom. Okay, it's black. Cool, that's awesome. So I am not in view. I'm still on stage technically, but I'm no longer in view with the camera, okay? And if I take it off, like I join the stage, I'm like, oh, hey, I'm now in the scene. Boom. That's how it works. And I'll show you like with my MacBook here, this is something that you can use. Like obviously, if you just set it here, show it like that, and just push it over, and then boom, you cover the camera and then push it back. You can do other things too. Like some people use like glasses cases, you know, little booklets, just something that's easy that you could easily cover the camera with and uncover it as well. Nice and quick. Whatever works for you, you do you, okay? So there's a few other quick things that I want to go over that relate to just the class in general. First of all is muting. So some people might be wondering, oh, am I muted when I'm not in a scene or I'm hidden? And this is totally up to instructors, okay? Whatever they decide, that's what you're gonna follow. I personally am gonna experiment with it a little bit. I would actually like people to be unmuted for our classes because I want everybody to laugh and hear the laughter and have fun, right? Now, we need to maintain respect too, because anything outside of laughter turns into like heckling, okay? So don't comment on scenes that are happening. Don't, you know, shout out distracting things, anything like that. That's ultimately going to take away from the performers, and it's not very respectful. But also, you have the power to mute yourself. So this is pertaining to any distractions that might be going on in your environment. So like if there's a dog barking, or you have kids who are outside and they're making some noise and you need to go settle them down while you're not in a scene, obviously down here, right here, you just click mute, okay? And then whenever you're ready to come back, then just click unmute, and then boom, you're all set to go. Again, we want to make sure that we're respecting people, but we want to hear the laughters and have fun with each other. So just be aware that your instructor can mute you, but take the initiative to mute yourself, because it does take them a second to realize where the distraction is coming from. So help out your instructor and help out your fellow students. A few little quick things in terms of setup. As long as you can be heard and seen, then that's great, okay? Usually laptops and computers come with an internal webcam. They're pretty cheap to buy too if you need to get one. And also for audio, like I'm wearing headphones because it helps me hear better. I don't really want to blast it through speakers, but if that's easier for you to do it through the speakers, go for it. I think Zoom has something in their software that cancels out any like echoing effects that can happen, okay? You know, if you do happen to wear headphones, I do recommend like wireless so that you can move around and you don't have cables in the way. Up to you though. It's all, you know, totally within whatever you want for your personal setup, okay? Also for lighting, ideally, since this will probably be taking place more towards the evening and there's not gonna be natural light, try to see if you can have a lamp near you, okay? If you have a desk lamp, try to like not shine it directly in your face because that'll just blow you out. Try to shine it at the wall that you're facing, and the light will kind of bounce back at you and should light you up pretty well. If anything, just have like a decent amount of light. Like my light is a ring light, and we're a video production company, so we have it. They're not super cheap, so don't worry about getting a ring light or anything. But ideally, it shouldn't look like this, okay? I'm gonna turn this off right now. Oops. And yeah. So that looks okay actually right now, but that's mostly because natural light is coming in behind me. But as you can see, it sometimes struggles to like focus with me. So anything like that works perfectly. Hey, there we go. Now also, some people might know this, okay? Down here is under video settings. There's something called choose virtual background. I have a virtual background right now, but here's the thing. I have a green screen, okay? My background is kind of messy, so I just kind of wanted to make it look nice since I'm the instructor. I want to feel like I'm presentable to you all. So I have that, and I have like just a default image displayed. Now, there's like certain things that come with Zoom, like this, oh, or, you know, oh, I'm in San Francisco. There's a few default ones, and you might be tempted to put that as your background. The only problem is if you don't have a green screen, it doesn't look too good, okay? So down here I have clicked, I have a green screen. If I unclick that, okay, and I'm gonna take my green screen down, okay? So this is what it looks like, but notice like when I move around, it's actually not too bad right now. But some people get like really, yeah, look at that waviness. It can get really jittery, especially if you're moving around. So my recommendation is just have your default background, you know. If you know you don't want to show like a part of your room, just try to face your camera more towards the wall, or just kind of have your setup more based towards an area that doesn't have a lot of background objects or anything like that, okay? So recommendation, don't worry about virtual background. It's cool, but it can cause problems with presentation. So yeah, try that out. So those are just a few technical things to keep in mind when you're taking your first class. Your instructor will go over a lot of this stuff with you, but it just helps to be a little bit familiar with the software you'll be using on the night up. Hope it helps, and I'll see you next time.